Cornerstones of Care. All right. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for having us. We are very honored to be selected as a finalist with Impact KC, and hopefully we can share a little bit more about what Cornerstones is, do, and what the project we're asking for. And if there are any KU fans out there, I promise to be brief. Yeah, thorough. So Cornerstones of Care is a family of agencies that really believes and focuses on two things. One, we believe in families. We are one ourselves. And we believe on creating as much impact as we can to strengthen the children and families and the communities in which they live. So our family members are listed here underneath. And a lot of people are more familiar with those names, which is exactly how we want it. Those are our brothers and sisters that do a lot of the work. Gillis, Healthy Families Programs, Marillac, Ozanam, and Spofford. So when you support Cornerstones of Care, you're not just supporting us, you're supporting our whole family. So what does our family do? Well, like I said, we're focused on creating impact with children and families. And we do that every day. We affect the lives of 2,000 children and families throughout the areas that we serve, which is primarily Kansas City. And we do that through a continuum of services. We have 33 services that are provided by our family. That ranges from treatment services to, I'm sorry, I did that backwards, prevention services to treatment services. So on the prevention side, we have our home visitation works with families as soon as they find out they're going to become a family. And we work with them to make sure that they have the parenting skills they need to raise a thriving and successful child. And that's all really on the prevention side, so we can avoid the abuse and neglect. Moving towards down the continuum, we have outpatient services for families that may need therapy services or need work with a child that has elevated needs. Beyond that, we have our foster care case management services that are provided by Healthy Families, and that works with over 1,700 kids in Jackson and Cass County that are in the foster care service, that are in the foster care system. Moving beyond that, we have 4 schools. Our educational services focus on providing kids that have elevated needs. That's at Gillis, Marillac, Ozanam, and Spofford. And then our farthest along on the treatment side would be our pediatric psychiatric hospital at Marillac, which sees kids of all ages and is the training center for KU Med and their pediatric psychiatry. So, like I said, every day we're affecting the lives and having impact on the lives of 2,000 kids each day. So Cornerstones is the family that brings all that together. And we've been a family for 15 years, so collectively we have over 450 years of experience amongst our agencies. But it was actually 15 years ago when these agencies came together and said, you know what, we are stronger as a family and we want to come together and work that. So what does that mean? Well, we, as a family, we do everything we can to put as much resources back into our programs. And so we have consolidated IT, HR services, strategic planning, and all that stuff sits at the Cornerstones level and feeds that out to the agencies. We find that we do that much cheaper when we do that. In fact, just 2 years ago, we finished consolidating our facilities management, and we save about $450,000 to our purchasing power on that each year through that consolidation. That is $450,000 that can then go directly to the impact of our programs. 2 years ago, we moved into our location in Midtown and brought all those Cornerstone services to that building. It allows us to have more innovation because we were spread out over 7 different locations in town. And we were also able to put our Healthy Families programs in this building and some of the other programs from the other agencies that deal with the clientele that is really urban core based. So our building is at 36th and Gillum, just north of Hyde Park. And we're very happy to finally have that presence in the urban core. And part of that building that we were really excited about is our training room, which I went too far. I'm going to go back one more. Maybe. And Angie's going to talk to you a little bit more about our training room.
So the kind of cool thing about buying a turn-of-the-century building was that we had this fantastic meeting space that was located in the basement. So we can hold up to 80 people in this room and really have dynamic trainings. It's got great light, it's got great space, it has the ability to be expandable, but as you can see, it's not very, the furnishings that we have in the room itself are not very functional for the multi-use furnishings, stacking furnishings, so that we can truly make this an exciting training space that's clean, that's safe, and that's very professional.
Recently, when the site visit crew came, they got to see the carpet that we had in there. Because of our chairs that are heavy and clunky, most of the carpet, which was the tiles, had peeled up, and it was becoming very difficult. We actually have replaced that since then, and we've really been focusing on making this as innovative of a room as we can. Last year, we invested in AV, so we do have projector screens. This grant will actually expand on that by adding smartboard technology and tablet technology to our audio room. So, you know, it is just a room. But rooms like this are often very hard for nonprofits to put together because we always want to drive towards our impact. But we also know that the things that happen in this room are very important to our impact. So what happens in this room? A lot. And if you ever try to schedule time in it, you would know how hard it is. So we kind of break it down into 3 areas. We obviously have staff events, recognition events, training for our staff in there. Our board meetings for the system are held down in that room. But we also really focused with this room of having a community space, and not just for our agencies to use. It is the largest training room in our family of agencies, but also for other agencies to use. So just some recent examples, the Grantsmanship Center, we hosted them. They're out of California, came and provided grant training, and there were local agencies there and agencies as far as West Illinois that came in for that. We have a psychiatrist out of Georgia that's been coming in for the last 3 months that's doing a lot of work around training around psychotropic medications to get our kids who are often on too many psychotropics off of those medications. And then the Jackson County Mental Health Levy has done several trainings in there. And then I've also just funded for a really exciting training that we're going to have for our staff, but also for other agencies to use around trauma-focused cognitive behavior therapy, which is actually a pretty expensive training to send our clinicians to. But like I said, that'll be opened up for our clinicians as well as outside agencies. And other agencies that want to use this, we don't charge anything. We really want it to be a service for other nonprofits. And then the client trainings that we do, and that's really the heart of what we do every day, is I think really where the impact comes from this room. And like I said, you know, it's just a room, but we really need these spaces that are safe, clean, and inviting to go into, so we can continue to have these. So I was going to tell you one story that kind of I think really talks about why these room matters, and that's a story about Carla. We met Carla 2 years ago, right after we moved into this building. We met her through our foster care case management. For her, she was 18. She had just had a child, but Carla herself is lower functioning. And shortly after her child was born, he was diagnosed with a condition that was causing him to choke a lot. And the courts decided, because of her lower functioning, that it would be safer and in the best interest of the child and Carla to put the child in custody, while we made sure that Carla was equipped with the needs and the skills that she needed to raise a child. And one of those skills was CPR, which is a training that we offer through the American Red Cross every month in this room. And our staff, knowing her skill level, knew that we were going to have to break that down and not provide the traditional training. So we actually expanded. It's normally 2 hours. Did 4 hours and broke it down really step by step. She actually had to come back a second day, but did get certified in CPR. And it was really good that she did that. The day after she finished her certification, she was having a visit with her child, feeding him dinner, and the unthinkable started to happen. He got something lodged in his throat, started to turn blue, and when Carla tells the story, she's just very excited about, I just did everything I was supposed to. I stayed calm and went through all the procedures, dislodged the whatever piece of food that was stuck in there, and went through all that, and was able to revive her son and save his life. Now that's a pretty powerful story, and not everything we do in that room has such a direct result like that. But it really is. It's just one small piece in that continuum of care that we provide, and that all happens in this room, and we really want to be able to continue that, providing those, but also make it a room of innovative thought, because like you guys, we are really all about impact in Kansas City, and we're really about bringing everybody together so we can find creative solutions to to provide as much impact to Kansas City, the children and the families that live here.
Thank you, Joe.